Warning: Superpower review is intended for a mature viewing audience. This video may show images that are not suitable for kids under 13 years old. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Dini here for a Superpower review, and thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today we're going to be giving Venom issue 30 a review, and as always, I am not alone. I am joined by one of my good friends, Joseph Reed. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, Kevin? Thanks again for having me on, dude.
As always, yeah, no problem, man. So, Joe, we have a lot of similarities in taste, and I don't know what your opinion is about Venom issue 30, but I'm a little disappointed in this issue. What are your thoughts on it?
Dude, I'm absolutely disappointed with it. It was such a long, drawn-out storyline just to end the way it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just there was no fight between Codex and Venom whatsoever. Yeah, it was a letdown. It was a big letdown.
You and we predict what's going to happen in these issues a lot. And so I think we hyped each other up, to be honest, because we got absolutely nothing that we predicted for this issue. We thought there was going to be this huge, epic battle between Venom and Codex. We didn't see a single thing what Codex is capable of in this storyline whatsoever. He just looks mean, he looks badass and menacing, but he just did nothing but yell, flip over a table of virus equipment, absolutely nothing. So I have no idea what this guy is capable of, really.
Like I said, this raised more questions than an answer to anything.
So the whole Venom Beyond series, I really enjoyed. It's a whole different world, and we get a whole new slew of characters, and characters that we're used to, and that was fine and good and all. But this issue to me felt completely different than the rest of the issues in this series. There were times where I was reading the dialogue to Codex, and it just seemed way off. It was actually kind of laughable. If the way it was playing in my head, if this was a movie, if Codex said this dialogue in a movie, I would just laugh, you know what I mean? So some of the dialogue seemed off. It was super rushed, in my opinion, and so everything with all the other series, it's just okay, you were here, and it had good cutoff points, but this whole issue just seemed really rushed, and I hated the whole 1 year time period. I don't know how you thought about that.
Yeah, I agree with you on everything, Kevin. Seriously, going back to everything you were talking about, they literally don't show anything that Codex can do, so we have no idea what his powers are. I mean, they did do a little moment where Venom, where I guess he just put him in a headlock or something, ripped his mask off, and yeah. Codex was saying he can't manipulate his symbiote. So, with that being said, we literally saw none of his powers, and with everybody going on around him, he didn't do anything to them. He literally, it was like a father-son moment, and we kind of did predict that.
We did predict that. It was more than a father and son moment. It was a whole family moment, really.
Yeah, technically, yeah. I mean, especially, yeah, with Dylan being there from his Earth, his younger son. That was kind of interesting. The fact that them two, they, touched hands, and this little, energy blast thing kind of happened, I feel like there's something to that, but they just didn't, explain any way whatsoever, really. The fact that we have all these cool characters that we'll probably never see again, but who knows? With the whole thing with Virus, we kind of low-key predicted this a little bit. At least I did. I knew he was going to get in that suit. I knew that eventually he was going to get to that suit. But the fact that they just you flip the page and he's taken out by Goofy Reed Richards. That right there, for me personally, I was like, all right, cool. As long as we get some sort of character that comes out of this storyline or something, I'm cool with it. And there was my moment, and then literally a page later, they just destroyed it. So that just kind of ruined everything for me. The fact that they arrested him, and now he's in prison in their timeline, like you said, Dylan pretty much cures the whole world and whatnot. Whatever happened between, I guess that did, that was the only thing that did explain it, is now Codex is in a coma. after this whole ordeal. And then, yeah, they did the whole 1 year later thing, which that was just kind of bizarre because they had all this opportunity to really like make a really good story and have it action packed and all that good jazz, and they just rushed through everything. So it was just it was kind of like not reading the normal series because the whole thing was just off. I feel like it was just a rush to get the King in Black.
Yeah, agreed. So let me just point out a few things here. So we did predict Matt Gargan finding the virus suit. We did predict that. We did predict this whole family reunion sort of ordeal. And the only thing that we did not get was seeing Codex's true powers. So we were like more or less on the right track of everything.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely were with a lot of things. It's no matter what we think the outcome's going to be, it's always something completely off the wall. If you would have told me that Dylan and Codex touch hands and then Codex goes into a freaking coma for years on end and the world's all back to normal, that is not how I expected that storyline to end. Like,
yeah, me neither.
It didn't make any sense. And talking about all the characters in that universe, man, freaking Agent Carnage, right? They used it maybe 1 or 2 times back when they first showed him, but like he didn't say anything or do anything except for stand around and look cool for the rest of the book. And like like me myself, if they were announced an Agent Carnage series, if it were a 5-issue miniseries, I'm picking that joint up, man.
Yeah.
And like there was so many cool characters, and they just didn't like elaborate on them whatsoever.
I guess I'll bring it up now, but there's a whole trope, if you will, with this whole Donny Cates run, and I want to say it's more of this whole Venom Beyond storyline more than anything, but this is the trope. The trope is that Donny Cates is creating these really big characters, these nasty characters. They look menacing, powerful, and whatnot, and when it's time to wrap up the story, he just nerfs them completely and just cuts them down. We saw this again with Virus. We saw this with Matt Gargan's Scorpion. I was like, okay, if he's not going to get the Virus suit and if he's going to have this Scorpion Venom suit, okay, fine, whatever. It does look better. It is a bit of an upgrade. We had this Codex character that absolutely did nothing. And, just not a villain, but you did bring up Agent Carnage, and we didn't see much of him really at all either, when that could have been absolutely brutal. You know what I mean? So I think this is something that we're seeing a lot with Donny Cates, but here is my main concern. My main concern is, are we going to get this sort of same formula for King in Black? Is Null going to come to Earth and just, destroy things, and then when it comes to wrap up the issue, he just goes down with a punch? You know what I mean?
Like you pointed out, it basically was absolute carnage. It was a huge buildup, and it literally ended in one panel. And thinking about that, Immortal Hulk with the Venom symbiote versus the Dark Carnage, that ended within like a panel. Like,
yep.
The way that Venom and Virus were fighting for like pages upon pages for like 2 issues straight, I haven't seen Venom fight anybody like that this whole series. Not Carnage, like nobody. There's like, we need more of that. And
we do.
I kind of feel we might get that with King in Black, because from what I'm seeing, it's just symbiote dragons everywhere and everyone's in the mix. So there's going to be some action, but there's like the payoff for the whole Venom Beyond storyline was just very weak, as well as the whole Virus character and all that. And then, thinking back on it, Absolute Carnage, just like, it just, there wasn't no one really came out of that satisfied. So I'm kind of hoping that eventually everything, by the time Donny Cates gets to the end of this story, like, it has to be some sort of huge tie-in moment where everything makes sense, because there's just so much going on that, like, it just feels very kind of rushed, and like they think this thing out and rush through it real quick and on to the next thing. So,
and I don't want to say like I'm hating. I'm absolutely loving what Donny Cates is doing with this character, but we all also know that Donny Cates is the king of hype. You know what I mean? He hypes everything up so much, and then that's what I mean. So he gets you hooked, and at the end it's like, well, that sort of fell flat on its face a little bit, or it fell flat on its face very hard. You know what I mean?
hmm And I feel like there is too much hype just around Venom itself, and like Donny Cates is a great writer. Like his Thanos storyline, I never really had an interest in Thanos, and reading that storyline, it was incredible. And then you got the Cosmic Ghost Rider, that's all incredible. And now he's got Venom, and it started out with a bang, like the whole origin of Null and everything leading up, how they tied in the Maker. I loved every bit of that.
Yeah.
And you know, Sleeper's kind of incorporated in. I don't think that was ever long term supposed to happen, but you know, like he's definitely got a good story. There's just so much hype on Venom itself that literally every issue gets like 50 freaking covers. So I feel like he's kind of being a little relaxed, and in the same sense, you're starting to see him now. He's writing what is it, crossover for Image.
Mm-hmm.
He's writing a few other things, and like he's just starting to branch out a lot more. So it's like I feel like that almost translates through with the stories when it gets to the point where, all right, it's time for like the big grand finale and the action of everything to happen, and it just fizzles out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that there's going to be an issue where it just makes everything click.
So, you know, I kind of want to go, because I missed something here, but I kind of want to go back to this whole family reunion and whatnot. But I thought it was kind of weird all of a sudden that, you know, Venom is connected to this hive, right? But I thought it was weird that since he was connected to this hive that Codex had no control of him. I thought that was absolutely odd and weird.
Maybe I got to reread it, but I'm not exactly sure why he can't control him. And Eddie even says to him like something smart ass, like, "Yeah, you can't do nothing." Blah blah blah. So it was like, okay, but he mentioned something as they were leaving, going back to the family moments and going back to predicting things. I think at one point we did talk about how Ian, Eddie, and Dylan would have like this little bond thing, and they totally did, I guess, for this whole year. But
Yeah.
When they were leaving, which I thought was weird, like by the time they left, Eddie and Ian were like romantic again in a sense, and it's just like, all right, well, we're out of here, see you. Like, bye, Mom, and they portal. I thought that was a little weird, but he even said like, I'm going to miss these powers that I had here. So at some point or another, he has to figure out how to do like that canon thing like more often. I'm expecting once he gets to Earth and Null's there, Null's got the hive of all hives with him. So Venom there might be some more powers and stuff that come out of Venom.
Yeah, I think so too. So, you know, here's my prediction here. So, you know, they're back home, but, you know, the gate's there. They can go through different dimensions. I really do believe that the agents, Codex are going to come through this portal and help, you know, Venom out. You know, they're going to help out Dylan and Eddie and the Avengers. That is my prediction because he left that door wide open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I talked to a few people about it. The fact that he's in a coma and he's going to wake up, like he said something about how they learned how to jump dimensions, I think, from studying the virus armor. So now that he knows that exists,
yeah,
there's a possibility. Like, I'm super curious to when he wakes up, how he's going to be in Earth. I'm expecting him not to look all gray and weird looking. So there's a strong possibility that he might, you know, travel to Eddie's current time and be caught in the middle of the King in Black thing, and he might end up being an ally, which that'd be pretty cool. 2 Dylans and, you know, 2 sons and Venom. Like Venom and his 2 sons, like that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, and I think that's, you know, sort of what Donnie's hinting off to, where this family can be complete again. You know what I mean? So we'll have Anne, and you know, maybe she'll help Eddie, Brock, and Venom together to, you know, fight crime or, you know, whatever it is, and they'll have the Dylans with them. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I would like to see it for a little bit, but I wouldn't want to see that go on throughout the whole series, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I think it would be cool to see a little bit.
The whole family reunion, like you were just saying with Codex and Dylan and all that, like they have this whole connection to Null. So it kind of makes me wonder how and why Eddie doesn't have like some sort of connection to Noel, because Noel kind of doesn't really seem to know too much about him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they explained like Cletus Cassidy's entire bloodline is linked to Noel, so it's like it is like this weird family thing if you really think about it.
Yeah. So if you were to give Venom issue 30 a CGC grade, what would you be giving it today?
This is hard for me to say, but I literally would give it a 6.5 unless something in the future happens that makes this make sense. Like, this is a 6.5 green label.
Whoa!
You know?
Whoa, those are fighting words right there.
Or maybe, I don't know. It's one of them. It's not gold. It's not blue. It's some other color. So something in the future has to happen that's going to make this all make sense. Like, I don't care if freaking Matt Gargan breaks out of prison, finds the virus suit again, and manages to come back to this time. Like, something has to happen, and then I'll have to go back on that grade. I might crack it, you know, get it pressed. But for right now, it's a 6.5 green label for real.
All right, all right. So if I were to give Venom issue 30 a review based off of everything said today, I'm not too far off. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Again, the whole issue feels rushed. I necessarily didn't get everything that I was expecting or wanted from this storyline, and I just thought it was pretty confusing with all of a sudden now we figure out that Codex is connected to Null, and he kind of gets, you know, some brief messages like, oh, their God, and their God is coming, whatever. I thought that was just weird. The dialogue is off, and, you know, I just feel like that these fight scenes were cut so short where they could have just been absolutely epic. But it does, yet again, open the doors for the other possibilities. King in Black is coming out soon, and I think we're going to be getting more characters for that storyline. And I think that this Anne and Codex and maybe even the agents will come on and help out with that story. But 7.5 I think is a really good grade for this. I think it's very fair, but I did really like the whole story aspect between the family. I mean, I would have liked to see more of what Codex could have done, but, you know, seeing them come together, it's really nice because, you know, it also shows that Eddie was the key to making this world right. Because if it was just up to Anne in charge, trying to get Codex to become good again, it would have never happened because she is his mom and she cannot show any animosity or go after her son because it's her son. And as we all know, mothers love their kids. So I think it was cool that Eddie was the key to make this Codex character come back. So and that's going to be my story and my grade for Venom issue number 30. What do you think?
I mean, I can get that. I definitely get that. One thing I will say that possibly would be cool revolving around this issue is I forget his first name, but the artist Ross, I don't know if you called it, but he did the Amazing Spider-Man 316 homage where it was Goofy Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards standing over top of Virus, and he was surrounded by all the broken virus material, or Matt Gargan, I should say.
Yeah.
But he was surrounded by the virus material, so I'm expecting if they do it, if they make a second print of that, that would be kind of cool. But then that to the ever-growing covers, like, but I think that would be cool. You know what I mean? I'm like torn on that. If they were to do that, that would be one cool thing that came out of that issue. You know what I mean? So one thing I definitely do want to point out is this what was it? A 1 in 50? No, it was a 1 in 25 Aaron Cooter variant cover. This was pretty cool, but it's very misleading considering what happens in this issue. But
yeah,
I definitely like this cover. Definitely like this cover.
That's false advertising right there.
To the fullest extent.
Well, Joe, I want to thank you so much for being on today's show.
Not a problem, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, no problem. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked anything that was said in this video, make sure you smash that like button and let me know in the comment section what you thought about Venom issue number 30 and the end of this story arc. If you're new here to the channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button for future Venom review videos and to show your support and to potentially win a free slab once the channel reaches 2,000 subscribers. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.